When designing audible notification for areas where we're going to be awakening people who are sleeping, NFPA 72 has some different requirements for how loud the audible notification signal needs to be. So it's got to be at least 15 decibels above the average ambient sound level, or 5 decibels above a maximum sound level, having a duration of at least 60 seconds. So that sounds very similar to what we would have for a public operating mode. But we have a minimum sound level of at least 75 decibels. So whichever of all of those is greater, that's what we're going to design to. And then additionally, that is all measured at the pillow level in the room. So as opposed to what we would normally be doing, which is about 5 feet above the finished floor for the rest of the building, we're measuring that at pillow level. And then one final thing is, if we're going to be awakening people, we need to be using a 520 hertz low frequency signal. So that's different than what you might be familiar with, which is a 3000 hertz notification signal. So a 520 hertz signal is a lot lower, but research has shown, there's been research done through the Fire Protection Research Foundation, and it's shown that it is very effective in awakening all parts of the population, including the higher risk population. So people with hearing loss, school-age children, or people who are even alcohol impaired. And it's important to note that the 520 hertz is only if it's an area where we're intending to wake up people. So think like an apartment building or a hotel, not necessarily a hospital, right? So if we're in a hospital, we're probably using more of a private mode. We're not trying to wake up the patients. We're more or less trying to get the nurses involved in getting people evacuated. So we wouldn't need a 520 hertz signal there, but maybe if we had a staff room or something like that in the hospital where staff are going to be sleeping, that's a case where we'd be using the 520 hertz signal. So I'm going to go ahead and link fact sheet below, going over a lot of fire alarm basics and stuff. And then also there's a blog that my teammate wrote on going over, talking about that 520 hertz signal. A lot of it coming, from the life safety code and then into NFPA 72, the fire alarm and signaling code. So go ahead and check that out. Thanks.